New tune is called Skate, and we're gonna check it out a little bit. So already right in that intro, I mean, there is some really nice harmonic stuff going on. I mean, we start on this A minor 7 chord, and then we go up to this C sus 13 chord. If you guys have watched my channel at all, you know that that sus 13 sound is like literally one of my favorite chords. I love any sus 13 sound. It's just such a beautiful sound, and it's this ambiguous, I mean, it's suspended, it's a sus chord. Basically, it means that we're not straight up making it dominant, and, you know, there's really no indication of, like, you know, if it's major or minor. It's because it's suspended. It uses the 4th in place of a 3rd. But by stacking the dominant 7th, the 9th, the 11th, and the 13th, we just get this beautiful blend of sound. I mean, Silk Sonic, like I said, is a great name. It's just such a smooth sound. Yeah, it's one of my favorite chords. I love that chord. But yeah, so we have this A minor 7 going up to that C sus 13 sound. Really nice. Wait, take that. Hold on. I think that right there, that's like a D sus chord. I didn't get the 13. I didn't hear the 13 in there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on there. Rhythmically, I mean, the way the lyrics kind of flow, it's great. But harmonically, we start, it feels the way that the tune is structured. If I had to venture a guess, I would say the tune is an F. You know, because this to me feels like a 2, 5, 3, and then a 6, which would put it in F, but we've yet to hear any indication that it actually is an F, so that's just a guess at first, but I'm sure we'll find out more specifically later. But there's something really interesting going on here as well, because when you hear this 3-6-2-5 thing, especially in R&B type of like soul, neo-soul, whatever it is, you might expect a certain sound. You might hear like, you might hear this kind of sound of like a G minor 7, maybe a C sus, A minor 7, and then a D minor 7. But that's not what they do in this song.
Don't be shy, just take my hand and hold on tight. Oh, skates up and fade.
Oh my God. This is so good. Oh my God. All right, so the thing I was trying to point out, that's what you might typically hear, but that's not what we're doing. We're going, we've now flipped it major, created a secondary dominant out of it, rather than using the minor. That major, that F sharp for the D major of some kind, maybe it's dominant. To my ears, it's kind of a little bit of an unexpected thing. When I heard it the first time, I was just like, whoa, okay. They're just taking that chord, which you would normally expect to be minor, and just flipping it major. Now, it's kind of a small detail, but it's just one of the little things that just kind of gives it a bit of a unique sound. But let's move backwards, because the setup for this chorus is just so sick.
I'm trying to roll, I'm trying to ride.
So we have back and forth, just B flat major 7, A minor 7, G minor 7. Hey everybody, really quick, just before we continue, I want to let you know that I've actually done a full breakdown of the entire tune over on Nebula. You can gain access to that with an annual subscription to CuriosityStream, the sponsor of today's video. There's a link in the description. More about that in a little bit.
I'm trying to float, I'm trying to glide.
There's a 5-1. We've been going back and forth. That's it. That is super cool. We're sitting in this back and forth thing that we talked about, the B flat, major 7, A minor 7, G minor 7. And then eventually we throw an E flat sus functioning as a 5 chord moving into a brief new key of A flat, but just for that split second, it's just 5-1. And we land on this new key, A flat major 7. And then eventually we just kind of go back and set up like a 2, 5. It's just like this little unexpected flip into, oh, we have a modulation here for a second. It's enough to catch your ear and just go, whoa! That is just like such thoughtful writing. It's a simple little modulation that offers so much in the way of adding dynamic to the harmony. It sounds so good. Check it out.
Oh, baby. I'm tryna roll. I'm tryna ride. I'm tryna float. I'm tryna glide. No, don't be shy. Just take my hand and hold on tight. Oh, skate to the baby. Skate. Slide your way on over. Slide your way on over. Skate to the baby. Skate. I wanna get to know ya. I wanna get to know ya. Come on.
I love landing on that D sus chord.
Skate. I wanna get to know ya. I wanna get
Yeah.
to know ya. Come on.
Back to that intro section.
Got your
What a great harmonic theme. It's rooted in simplicity with these little things attached to it that just tell you how much harmonic and musical awareness is in here. It's rich with decisions that tell you like, oh man, this wasn't just like, oh, we're just gonna... and that's gonna be the whole tune. Like, there's a lot of decisions that were made in the writing of this that are just like, yeah, it's really unique and interesting. I mean, this has almost 30 million views in a week. Like, for music that is this mainstream to have this level of complexity, and I say complexity not because it's super complex or anything, but just because like it's complexity of thought. Decisions that were made with great intention and coming from a background that is clearly very musically educated. For people like me and a lot of you guys who like, you know music, you're musicians, and we see this stuff. It's super exciting to see mainstream music containing a lot of this kind of stuff. It makes me pumped to see where not only this is going to go, but who's going to gravitate towards this style and continue to push music, maybe more informed directions, if that makes any sense. I mean, we see, Jacob Collier obviously does a ton of that stuff, like getting into sort of that mainstream vibe with like incredibly intricate and complex musical information. And to see Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak doing a similar thing, it's really exciting.
skate to the baby. Skate. I wanna get to know ya. I wanna get to know ya. I never fall, but tonight you got me.
Yes! So we're sitting on this chord that I was already talking about because it's just a really cool place to just... It's funny, it feels like a 5 chord, but it's not. This is not a 5 chord. I mean, if we're looking at this in the key of F, which they don't play F major at any time. So again, I say that, not necessarily saying, oh, this tune is in F. I'm just like, that stuff all to me feels like it's generally surrounding F, but whatever. I mean, you can look at it a bunch of different ways. But if we're thinking about it that way, then that would be, the C would be your 5 chord, right? So you'd have 2, 5, 3, 6, right? But then when we land on this chord and it's a sus chord, it kind of feels like the 5. It feels like the place where we're suspending the whole thing, ready to turn around and go back to the whatever, sequence that we're transitioning into. But so that's already a cool place to let that hang. And then to move on to the bridge, we just bring it up a half step, right? Now, what's cool about that? Let's listen a little further.
Fall, but tonight you got me falling for you.
We have a 5-1 in the key of A flat. Where else did we have a 5-1? That was the monkey wrench thrown into that. Right? We've already done this. A 5-1 in A flat. Well, we're just making our bridge that 5-1 in A flat. It's brilliant because, like, you know, we already introduced that sound in the song previously. So your ear has heard it a couple of times. And now when we make the bridge, kind of focus on that as a motif, it's just a really interesting, brilliant tie together of that harmonic piece of information that we introduced earlier, and now referencing that, or just creating a whole thing out of that. Now the bridge is based on that movement. So good.
I wanna get to know ya. I wanna get to know ya. I'm in a fall, but tonight you got me falling for you, and only you.
Where are we gonna go next?
I'm reaching out in hopes that you reach for me too.
All right, so it's another 5-1, but. So we did this. So we jump up, we do our 5-1 in A flat major. What's the climb up? I think that's it. So we have 5-1 in the key of A flat, and then we climb up to a 5-1 in G flat, down a whole step.
Out in hopes that you reach for me too. Girl, let's go.
Oh! That's the 5. This is okay. This is cool because so we have 5-1 in A flat, right? Then we climb up. I think it's like a B flat minor 7, and honestly, that sounds to me like a B major 7. And then we have our sus13 chord in D flat, which is the 5 chord moving to G flat, right? So beautiful sound. But then we go to this C sus13 chord. Remember how I said we've been using that D chord, that D sus chord, as sort of like the hang point that almost feels like a 5 leading back to the beginning of a cycle. Here, we just go to the 5. This is the 5, which again, it's more evidence to me that you could say that this tune is kind of an F, but that's like the pure 5 chord to set up. Now it's a tritone motion, so that's why it comes out of the blues seemingly, and it's just like, whoa, right? Because we have this setup in A flat, and then we have another setup in G flat, and then we go right to that C sus13 chord, setting up what I guess we go back to that intro section, right? All of these different harmonic centers that come at you and just make your ears go, oh, okay, we're there now. Oh, okay, we're there now. We keep bringing in new information, but it all leads on a very thoughtful and reasonable path that brings it back to home base. It's just really purely great writing. And it's so harmonically sophisticated. That is so exciting to me to see this in music that is so insanely popular. Because like a lot of the things that we've talked about, especially like in video games, I mean, when we have music that almost subtly introduces people to different harmonies and sounds that they might not typically hear, why that's incredible is that it's just opening people's ears up. When you have something like this that's on the mainstream to this extent, it's just opening people's ears. It's giving them this more sophisticated sound that they might not be used to hearing. As we know, like a lot of mainstream music is less focused on this type of stuff. And it doesn't mean that it's bad, it's just that the focus is something different. A lot of the times the focus is lyrics. The music is not really as important as the story and the poetry. That's a totally different conversation. But when it comes to harmonically sophisticated music, we don't have a ton of great examples of this. And so that's why when you see things like this going so viral, going so mainstream, it is tremendously exciting as musicians for us, because we're like, yes, more people are gonna get to hear things that are based on this stuff. Because as you guys know, when you study music and you start developing an understanding of harmony and theory, it becomes like you get to enjoy music on such a deeper level than before you knew what any of this stuff was. Because now you recognize it, now you hear it, and it's exciting, and it's like, oh, I know what he's doing there. I'm seriously excited. This is the second single to come out from this upcoming album. So far, it's been 2 for 2, absolutely incredible on both counts. I can't wait to see what they do next. And that's it, guys. Once again, I want to know your comments below. What did you think of Skate? Is it your favorite Silk Sonic track so far? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.